Folks, special Friday show for you YouTubers. We got the very, very special Masana Vocino. Go on.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that erythritol study and probably spend the whole time talking about it. But I'm just saying how it's been a long week and it's only Wednesday that we're recording this, even though it comes out Friday. And now, since I know it's coming out Friday, I'm going to go ahead and say this on the air. And I didn't say it on the Monday show because there wasn't enough time. We did a flash sale on the spices.
Right.
And it expired March 1st. And if you're not on my list or in my Facebook group or give me your text, sometimes I'll text like a couple times a year. I'll send a text about a thing. We don't do promo codes very often because we can't afford it. We don't have the margins.
Right.
So we did it and sold out. We're out of barbecue. We're sold out of taco, almost sold out of dill. We will be getting more in soon. They're making it right now.
Yeah. Marie can't live without it.
No, I said she got 2 of the last dills. Okay. I don't have any more dills. I have a little. Yeah.
She puts it on everything.
She got it. But the thing is you know how people do. And even me saying it on the podcast is probably a mistake because I'm going to get angry cards and letters from the people who didn't. And I'm like, well, you've got to be signed up. So you get the notifications and you got to. Here's the other thing, Vinny. You know, all emails now go to spam. The ones that you want to see go to spam.
Right.
The ones you don't want to see come right to your inbox.
Yeah.
So I guess you got to whitelist it or whatever. So people are already angry and letting me know.
Right.
And I'm like, I told you it was until it sold out or until March 1st. And this is what happens. And I hate to disappoint anybody, but this is also what happens because we so rarely do the discount codes. But that and trying to figure out, listen, this grocery store thing, I know you and I talk about it off the air. I don't know that I wish that for anybody.
I know. Every time I think about brick and mortar, I go, you know what? My companies do well online. I might leave well enough alone. Everything is moving to online anyway. Why am I forcing myself to go into the stores? And it just seems ridiculous.
One day I would love to just talk about the process of getting into a grocery store, maybe on like a Monday show, so that people understand when they go to the grocery store, how like it's a feat of logistics and possibilities that you have chicken and beef and pasta sauce and produce and dairy, everything there at the same time. Like it's a miracle. I don't know how they do it.
I don't know how, Anna, as you know, I think you would, I don't know. I've never counted your money, so I have no idea, but out of all the companies I own and probably all the companies you own, the one that probably does the best financially would be purevitaminclub.com. Wouldn't you agree?
That's great. I guess so. I don't know what your revenue is, but yeah.
But
if you tell me that, then yes, that's
out of
what
all
I think
my companies,
too.
The coffee, you know, the ultra fat is too new to beat those numbers and everything else, right? Whenever we look at going into, retail, brick and mortar, I just break out into a cold sweat and feel like I'm going to faint. Whenever I hear what it takes and the numbers and what we would have to do to, and by the way, even a healthy company like purevitaminclub.com could crumble under the weight of just going into those things. So I can't even imagine what you go through.
It's the numbers. It's you can never run out of stock. It's it takes literally years to get on the shelves of these larger accounts. And I love that the audience is so supportive and so helpful and that you guys ask for it in stores. And that when I post a thing like, hey, Sprouts people, we're doing a pitch, and they write nice comments that I'm able to use this data in my pitches. And I really appreciate it. And it really does take a village. But then, for example, I was in one of the pavilions demoing about a month or so ago and sold out of all the flavors. Great. That's what you want, right? You want to sell out.
Absolutely.
Then I'm writing them again and again, and it's not anybody's fault. They're just so overworked saying, hey, and then finally today, a month later, they place the order. And then that month, you lose a month of sales, a month of people. Cause I've been to the same location several times of meeting people and making FaceTime contact and people saying, oh, I want that crema, but it's sold out. They can't get it. I'm going to get it when I'm here. They're not going to remember to get it. You know what I mean? Like it's done. And so it's things like that, like not just getting on the shelf, it's staying on the shelf and then making everybody happy and getting everybody's discounts in order. So anyway, I'm not bitching at all. It's one of those days where I feel like I've been run through the thresher. So I'm excited to talk with you about this study because boy, oh boy, was I getting DMs. You did a thing on it. I reposted Jill Ryder's story where she tagged me. Listen, I have friends, I know fellow food founders in the keto food space who use erythritol in their products. And so, you know, I want to be fair and unbiased to everybody, but also my body immediately rejects erythritol in any form the moment I eat it. So my body feels a little vindicated.
Okay.
Not everybody has that reaction, by the way. So I'm not trying to say
all right, so we're going into the study, right? The study comes out a few
Let me get this article going, and then I'm going to read some other folks, some perspectives. You and I want to present it, right? We want to present it so you could draw your own conclusions.
Right. And you can go to my Instagram too and have that pulled up and see what some of the people said there. And no opinion is wrong. No opinion is right. It's all opinions. But sometime back in the 80s, even before I was on the radio, I used to tell my clients in New Orleans, do not have the fake sugary drinks. Now, since then, they've changed.
You were talking about the NutraSweets and the saccharins, right?
Yeah, that was more saccharin and the whole thing. But I've always been against sweeteners, and it was always, why not? The only thing I remember reading back then, it was on a product called Sweeteners. So that was a saccharin product. The government shut it down. The FDA said this is not good for human consumption. It was killing rats in the lab and the whole thing. And then, you know, big fake sugar or somebody came back in and said, hey, you know, here's some money, push that shit through. And then all of a sudden it was back on shelves again. You know, it causes cancer. It doesn't cause cancer. I remember that stuff from the late 70s, early 80s. So when I was in business early on, I would tell my clients, stay off of sugar, stay off of carbs, but stay off of all this fake stuff. Back then, the only product out there was Tab, and Coke had a Diet Coke. I think it was called Diet Coke back then.
They weren't really putting that into food products at that time, as I recall.
No,
it was more in beverage, right?
Yeah, but I don't think it was pretty much okay. Here was the rub, and I could be saying this backwards, but since I wasn't a soft drink drinker, my clients would say, "Oh, I don't like Tab or Diet Coke or Diet Pepsi." I was about the only ones out there, anyway, because there's this horrible aftertaste, and then Sweet and Low came around, like a different product came around that was basically sugar. You know, I remember looking it up way back. And by the way, folks, when you're looking up shit back in the 1980s, you got to dig deep. There was no little thing that you punch things into with a glass screen that would pop up all this information. You have to go deep. And what I learned early on was, oh, wait, NutraSweet, which they started putting in all these products, yeah, it gives it more of a taste of like, you know, the original product, and it doesn't have the weird, because Anna, you might remember, you were a child, you might remember they were going, hey, you can have no calories and no nasty aftertaste.
Right.
It ran ads based on that. All of a sudden the nasty aftertaste was gone. Right. So again, I wasn't a soft drink guy, so I would just see the ads. I would see, you know, I was always checking the temperature because I had clientele. And I would tell my clients back then, listen, and I was only talking about weight loss. I said, okay, no bad aftertaste. They're finally taking the saccharin out and they're putting in NutraSweet.
I love that they did that when it totally had an aftertaste, by the way.
Said, right. It was a different aftertaste. It was not an aftertaste.
Yeah.
But apparently there was an aftertaste because people told me that. And then I would look at the side of the can and it was phenylalanine in there. I was like, fuck, man, they're jacking these people up. And I remember telling people, look, this is 4 calories a serving versus 16. It's not the calories that count. I was back then, I was yelling about calories are not your problem. There's something in here, and I'm telling you, your liver won't know the difference. Now, I've been yelled at about this for years. This is not erythritol yet. We're still talking about these, taking a molecule or two out of sugar to change the molecular structure. You change the calories. You're getting by with some version of it, right? Some Frankenfood. So everybody's like, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. It's like, I'm telling you, this probably won't come out for 30 years, which I was right. but none of this stuff is good. And then we went from the pink packet, which was saccharin, to the blue packet, which was NutraSweet, to the yellow packet. What was the yellow packet, Anna?
Splenda or sucralose.
Yeah. So now they have another version of the same, it's just, they're cooking the same. They're
the brown packet, which is the turbinado sugar, which is just sugar with
I
molasses on it. The green packet, which is stevia.
I went with a friend to a place called Smoothie King in New Orleans. And they said, come on, let's go to Smoothie King. And it was this girl I was dating. I was like, I get there. And she goes, no, it's healthy. It's all fruit. And I'm like, it's fruit. And I said, I looked up on the thing. I see turbinado. Of course, I know what turbinado is. My whole family was in sugarcane. And I said, wait a minute. You're saying no sugar? No sugar. No sugar added. And I went, what, turbinado? And the girl behind the counter goes, no, that's healthy sugar. That's the good sugar.
Well, we laugh, but you know what? People are still saying sugars are healthy sugars.
Right. And I'm sitting there going, it's brown sugar.
Right.
Like a young girl should now.
Which, by the way, brown sugar is just white sugar with molasses over it.
Right. Right.
That's all it is.
So you understand what, I'm looking at all this stuff. And then all of a sudden, I want to say somewhere around, let's call it 2002, 3. It was after, just post 9/11. I started hearing more and more and more about stevia.
Yeah, that's about when.
Is that around the time?
I started buying stevia to put in my coffee from Trader Joe's. And I hated it. Tasted terrible, but I thought I had to do it.
Okay. So all of a sudden, stevia is a thing. And I went, okay, what's this stevia? And I said, well, it comes from, it's the leafy part of a plant and blah, ba, 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 boop, ba, 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 boop. So I started looking into stevia. And most of this is produced in China or one of these Asian countries. And green leaf stevia, the actual stuff, is not allowed to be sold in the United States the way it is. It's bastardized. The FDA bastardized it 3 or 4 different ways. I don't know if these laws changed, but even if you go to the health food store and it says on the package, green leaf stevia is mixed with other stuff, you're getting a bastardized version of it.
It's cut. It's stepped on.
It's stepped on, just like most.
And stevia is an herb, right?
It's a, I don't know if it's an herb or if it's from a tree, but the leaf has a sweet kind of taste to it. And so I was like, okay, you think you're doing better with the stevia stuff, but when you get something like there's products called like Swerve and all this stuff made with stevia, but if you look what it's mixed with, it's mixed
Swerve
with
is erythritol, isn't it?
I think there's
stevia,
erythritol, the fake stevia, erythritol, and like monk fruit. It might be 2 or 3 things. It might even have sugar in it. I don't know how any of this stuff gets away with what they get away. So I'm giving kind of a half-ass thing about this, right? But I was talking by the time I got my radio show in 1989. So this is back in the 80s, folks. This is well over 30 years ago. I was yelling and screaming because by that time, Bluebell ice cream down south had, non-fat ice cream and no sugar ice cream. They were sticking everything in it. And there was a candy back then that was made for diabetics called, and I'm not making this up, called AIDS.
Yeah, I remember AIDS. AYDS.
Yep. Yeah, AYDS. And they started having trouble around the time.
Yeah, there was a branding issue. Yes.
Yeah, it was a branding issue. But they used erythritol, and I think they even had messages on their packaging saying that, hey, don't have too much of this, right? The problem with sugar alcohols, which is what an erythritol is, this stuff is poison to your system. If you have just an inkling of too much, we've talked about, it's probably why Anna and I are not invited back to, KetoCon. You go to KetoCon, walk into the bathroom, everybody's getting all these fake things from all the vendors out in the hall, and you try a few of these things, and next thing you know, you're painting a toilet up like it's a Jackson Pollock. And, that's your body. Your body will do, look, if you drink too much alcohol, what happens? You start throwing up. Your body needs to get rid of that poison. The erythritol makes it low enough into your system, and boom, it will make you sick. This stuff needs to come out of your body. It's not meant for human consumption. When I would say these kind of things back in 1989, based on the AIDS candy, right? And based on a girlfriend I had who was a Diet Coke addict.
Yeah.
Her personality would change after a couple of Diet Coke. She would drink a Diet Coke. She was all into aerobic fitness, and, I'm talking tight waist, ripped, the whole thing. And her thing was she would have Diet Cokes, right? So she wouldn't eat anything else. You put a Diet Coke in this woman, 5'7", 120-pound woman with no extra fat, no nothing on her, she would, her personality would change. I would see it happening.
What do you mean? Like for the better or for the worse?
Not very good. She agitated. If she had a couple of them in a row, she would, and this was a young woman, she would do what old people do, where right in the middle of their thought, they would forget what they're saying. She was like, wait. She would be in the middle of saying something. She would go, wait, hang on. What are we talking about? It would actually mess with her memory.
Yeah.
And I brought this up to her a couple of times, and she thought I was insane.
Right.
She thought I was insane. Look, I could have been insane. Who knows? But
well, listen, I tried to get my mom off Diet Coke for years, and it didn't work.
Yeah.
So she was a sugar addict and a Diet Coke addict, and it was not pretty at the end, folks. Not pretty.
So where are we with
Anna? Oh, I'm getting so many phone calls from spammers all day long. So here's where we are.
We'll talk to them on the air.
So first of all, I just want to make a correction that Swerve is here are the ingredients of Swerve, of the granulated Swerve: erythritol, oligosaccharides, and natural flavors.
Okay, natural flavors with more sugar. It's basically sugar.
Oligosaccharides are fiber, so they're adhering the erythritol to some sort of fiber.
Right.
Oligosaccharides are things the things in here's what I find interesting. The fibrous things in onion, leek, garlic, shallot are called oligosaccharides.
Right.
And those are also known as prebiotics. So they actually help your gut flora get something yummy to eat that's feeding the good gut flora, right?
Right.
So if you're putting oligosaccharides with something known to disrupt the gut, it sounds like it's something that's going to offset. This is my guess.
Right.
I'm a scientist, that it's trying to offset the damage that the erythritol, the sugar alcohol, is going to do. Let's put it with some oligosaccharides that the gut actually likes, and maybe that'll keep people from crapping their pants.
Yeah, maybe. Okay. We don't know, folks. We don't know.
We don't know. Sure. We don't know. We don't know. So the issue is this article came out. I got this CNN one sent to me, but it came out all over the wire. And the headline is a 0-calorie sweetener linked to heart attack and stroke study finds. Now, and if you've been under a rock and you haven't seen this on the internet, the idea is that they're saying erythritol is causing blood clots. It's causing the blood sugar to rise. And on the surface, it looks like a very scary article. And it does explain how erythritol is used in the natural foods industry to be mixed with stevia, monk fruit, things like that, because erythritol tastes the most like sugar and you can bake with it, but it's the most disruptive to your gut. So it has to be mixed with other things to keep you from getting disaster pants.
Yeah. The straight erythritol will mess you up.
Well, I've had erythritol mixed with monk fruit. A couple years ago, I was at a friend's house and she made this gorgeous dinner of and she's like, it's all NSNG. And then she made a dessert, which I talked about on the air at the time. She made this gorgeous dessert where she poached some fruit, and then she made a crumble.
Mm-hmm.
Again, NSNG, and she used the monk fruit. I think it was Swerve, or there's one. Listen, the monk fruit and erythritols have taken over. They have a hole right at face height. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like the third and fourth shelves up, where most adults have that height.
Right.
So it's right there. I can't remember what it's called, where it's right there at face. That's the good shelf to be on the grocery store. They've paid a lot of money to be on the shelves. So she made this crumble with one of the monk fruit erythritol mixture. She's like, no, you can have it. It's NSNG. And I didn't want to be fussy, knowing full well that artificial sweeteners do not agree with my stomach. And I ate it and it tasted good. It didn't have like an aftertaste, but it's not something that I normally would eat. And I'm telling you, when I told Lauren he had to speed home, I was like, you need to go home. Like, you need to get home. We were running red lights on Victory, trying to get from Encino to North Hollywood. Wow. Like you wouldn't believe. And that's when I said, like, I can't ever put that in my mouth, even to be nice, like ever again. So that was the last time that I collected that bit of data and said, I'm not going to do it just on politeness, you know? So that's why they mix it, because of people like me, which there are a lot of us. And then there's other people who don't have a reaction. They can tolerate it. They have a stomach of steel. Good for you.
But the article wasn't about stomach issues. It was about issues. Now, there could be problems with the study. Let's
yes. So the thing is, there's a lot of areas of the study, but the thing that they focused on was, quote unquote, the final part of the study. 8 healthy volunteers drank a beverage that contained 30 grams of erythritol, the amount many people in the U.S. consume. And they said, 30 grams of erythritol is the equivalent of eating a pint of that keto ice cream, right?
Okay.
So 8 people is not a huge study. And they also say, hold on, I'm going to find this, because it says, this is what raised it wasn't like they picked 8 people. We don't know what were their A1Cs, what was their weight, what was their height, what was their age, you know what I mean? We knew nothing about them. And because it looked like, from what they were saying, they chose some people who were already metabolically at risk.
Well, and
so then it's like, well, is it there? So you can't say, if people are constantly eating regular sugar and then you give them erythritol, is it correlation or causation? Is it the erythritol? And by the way, I'm not an erythritol apologist. I don't give a shit either way.
We're going to have heart trouble anyway, and it's only 8 people, which makes me suspect as to whether it's real or not.
Absolutely. But so I wanted to present that and kind of like get into it. So I'll send a link to Leona. She put it in the show notes. Robb Wolf actually did kind of a nice breakdown of the science of the actual study, which I appreciate.
Right.
But even at the end, he's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? After breaking down all the science, he's like, I don't know. And then what happens is there's always the kickback, because of course I'm friends with a lot of people in the wider keto community, as we have to be collegial with everybody. We're not going to you know what I mean? We're not going to duke it out and scratch each other's eyes out over it. But some people were like, yeah, you know what? Keep eating your swerve. And then other people were like, yeah, you know what? Stay away from erythritol. It will definitely kill you. Like, it's like, the debate's not going to stop anytime
we
soon.
Don't know. We don't know if it's going to kill you, but what we do know is that it's just not good for you. And
you have to make a decision for yourself.
Right.
We can't tell you what to eat. So on your Instagram, the thing that jumped out at me was you did your post saying, I've been talking about this. Stop eating the fake sugars. You and I share that view that we don't care for fake sugars. And then at first, the immediate questions are, well, then what sugar can I have?
I told Serena that when Serena was holding the camera up. I said, I'm going to be answering questions of, so if I can't have that fake sugar, which fake sugar can I have? Immediately, the first thing, as soon as Megan put it up, 3 seconds later. So is monk fruit okay?
How about monk fruit?
Is it monk fruit, stevia? What about those?
What about fruit? Can I sweeten it with fruit juice or whatever? But the thing is like, I want everybody to kind of look at their language they're using. They're looking to you to tell them what they can. Well, what can I have? And it's almost like you need to do your research and decide what works for you and your body. Anna, do you want to go NSNG or do you not?
The thing that happens to me over and over and over again is people will say, well, what sweet stuff do you, it's like, have you fucking listened to me over the years?
No, nobody listens.
I literally stay away, and they go, so you never have fun? Oh yeah, I have fun. I like to fuck, but it's
you're DTF.
Yeah. I don't need to eat sugar to have that. Sugar is not an entertainment item for me.
Right.
Last night I was entertained. I watched a movie I hadn't seen in 30 years. I watched My Cousin Vinny.
Oh, that movie holds up. Isn't that great? Let's not
only
get
does it hold up,
detracted, but isn't it so good?
I had forgotten some of the better scenes in that movie. I went, oh, we know how it ends. We know, and he's this smart ass New York guy down in Alabama. It was so good.
It's such a good movie. It holds up.
And she deserved to be up.
She deserved it.
Yeah. She, I love Marissa Tomei. She
great.
does, in my world, she farts fresh air.
Yeah.
It's just what it is.
So sugar's not a fun activity for you. Yeah, I get that.
Sugar is not entertainment for me. And it doesn't have to be entertainment for you either. Right. People go, well, you never have. Yeah. When I'm in Italy and everybody's talking about this great gelato at some gelato stand. Yeah, of course. Or we're in, we go to, well, Serena's mom just passed, but we go to her house and, oh, darling, I made this special dessert for you. It's like, okay. And you got to eat it. The old lady just, toiled over this shit for hours. Right. So you enjoy some of it. And oh my God, can I take some for later? That you end up throwing away. I can say that now because she'll never hear it.
Oh, she's hearing it.
Oh, now she's looking down upon
but she's laughing. She's like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I knew you threw it away. She checked the film as soon as she got to heaven.
Yeah, exactly. She's like, I know what that mofo was up to.
St. Peter, before you let me through the gates, can I check the gates on that film? Let's see what's going on. Vinny, was he really eating that stuff when he took it? No, I went down the lane and threw it out. The rabbits enjoyed it. So that's the thing. Yeah, I just don't believe in using, not food, but sugar as entertainment. I do believe in food as celebration, not just sustenance. I'm Italian. You sit down, you break bread, so to speak, but I don't eat bread, but you sit down with other people. I like taking people to dinner. I like when people ask me and Serena to dinner. I like going to other people's houses. We love to have people here, so food can be a celebration. It doesn't just have to be sustenance all the time.
Right.
But to turn it into, well, what do you have? And that's all I saw on my Instagram. Well, what do you have? I don't know. I eat a lot of stuff, savory stuff.
Can I posit something here?
Sure.
Pose something. Things like erythritol, monk fruit, yada, 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 to me are used in the keto convenience foods, is what I called repeatedly the keto explosion at the grocery store. Yeah. Like the cookies, the crackers, the breads, right?
Right.
So if you're having those, if I'm having people over and I'm making a wonderful thing, or if I'm going to somebody's house or I'm going to a potluck, I'm bringing something, people are making stuff. Do you think people are serving keto cookies and crackers at these things? Because I would honestly, for me personally, I would never buy them, but then I would never want to serve them to people because they don't taste good to me. Like I would want to make something homemade. Like if somebody said to me, hey, Anna, which by the way, no one would ever say this to me now. Right. Although people do know my lime tart. There's certain things. Hey, will you make your pumpkin pie? Will you make your lime tart?
Right.
And I would make it, which are both in the cookbooks, but I use, like I always say, the least amount of sugar possible to make it. But it's a treat that I'm bringing to the dinner party. And I would make that and bring it. I would never stop at Ralph's and buy a sheet cake or keto cookies or any of that stuff. Like I always believe in making something homemade if you're going to do a celebratory thing.
That's because you were brought up right or close to right.
Well,
look, I wouldn't
go that far.
We would never stop and buy a sheet cake, much less a keto sheet cake.
Oh, but people do. They show up with I bought the sweet potato pie that they made at the A&P. It's like, what? Yeah,
no, Serena will sit in the kitchen and make a thing or whatever. Right. And that's just the way it is. You don't show up with crap from the grocery store. That's just that's.
But so this is what I'm saying. The keto cookies and the stuff that's with the erythritol, isn't that stuff that you're eating by yourself when you're upset because you can't have sugar anymore and you haven't really addressed the sugar addiction problem? So you're kind of stuffing your face with some of those things because you think that this is going to be a stopgap solution until you finally get off sugar and you haven't ripped off the Band-Aid. I'm just playing devil's advocate for a minute here. as opposed to, and then you get mad when you see somebody brings a nice homemade thing. That's what you're talking about. Because the thing that I've noticed in the 11 years of doing this with you, and I'm sure you've noticed it in the 40 years, 100% of people eat sugar and grain at some point again. No, there's never been one person who's cut it out completely and never had it again. So it's like you have to learn how to manage your life, what your priorities are, what your values are, what works for your body when you want to have these things. Like you said, Vinny's figured out when he is in England or when he is in Europe and he's sitting in front of Chris and Scott Thomas, he's going to have the wine, or when he's out to dinner, not for a regular thing, but maybe it's someone's big thing. He'll have a bite of the homemade thing. Like you have to just define these things for yourself. But I guarantee you these keto things with the erythritol are being marketed as a day-to-day stopgap. So you don't have to address your sugar addiction, your feelings, your trauma, everything that's associated with it. You could just keep stuffing it with some keto cookies.
And by the way, one of the things I'll do if we're going somewhere for dinner, and it's easy for me because I'll bring a gift of my coffee. But because my thing is, once I have the dessert, if I just drink coffee, I can get it. I can just cut it.
That's a great trick,
right? That's my trick, just the coffee. And I don't want to put upon people and go, hey, can you make me coffee? So what I do is I own a coffee company. I will bring us, look, we just got this special bag in of, this is the Explorer series. Matter of fact, I ground some up. We can try it tonight after dinner. And of course, they're not going to say no. And folks, you don't have to buy my coffee to do that. Go to any grocery store and go down the hoity-toity aisle and get a really good coffee and bring that as part of your gift when you go over to someone's house and go, hey, I brought this, we can have some after dinner. I like a little coffee after dinner.
I'm sorry. I'm going to interject here for a moment.
Sure.
Go to purecoffeeclub.com and order 10 bags of coffee. Here's why I say that.
Go on.
You're going to go to a dinner party. You're going to be invited. And you're going to be like, oh, crap. I don't have anything. We have to swing by whatever, the ABC store.
And you're running late. Yeah.
And you're running late. And you're going to spend $20 to $30 on a bottle of wine that may not even get opened.
Right.
And is only good for 1 to 2 days.
You're right.
Go stock up, get 5 bags then. And then get 5 bags.
I was liking it better when you said 10 bags.
I know, okay. But you know what I'm saying? It's like,
right.
How much are your bags of coffee? Between $12 and $16? I challenge anyone to find a decent bottle of wine for $12 to $16 that you would feel comfortable bringing to a dinner party.
Off the charts.
It's off the charts.
I brought some to someone's house because even though I don't drink it, I will bring it as a gift. And you always try to bring a nice enough bottle. And
of course. Everyone's trying to find the perfect $25 bottle of wine.
Right. And it's almost impossible.
It's almost impossible now.
What used to be 25 now is 40, 45 easily.
Oh, these Chardonnays up here that used to be $18 to $25 are now, and I shit you not, $50 to $65 a bottle. And I refuse. I'm like, I'm not doing it. It's much better to get a thing of coffee, which by the way, will last several pots of coffee for them. They get to remember it. It's something special. A bottle of wine, they're like, put it with the others. Nobody knows. Yeah. Nobody knows that you brought it.
It goes away and then it's done.
So I just wanted to throw that out there.
But I'm just saying, it doesn't have to be my stuff. Just go get a good thing of coffee. Hey, you might love. That's a great tip. And then there's coffee. So you're not sitting there having a second and third dessert. You eat some, oh my God, this is delicious. Where's that coffee? Just start sipping the coffee and you can get the taste of that sweet. I'm a sugarholic, folks. And by the way, I just started mentioning this on the show recently within the past 6 months. And people, when I do the consults, the phone calls every day, people go, I appreciate, woman Daniela earlier today was saying, I'm glad that you bring that up. I'm glad that you mention that because, it makes you human. It's like, oh yeah, I'm very human. We heard it in the song at the beginning of the show. I'm only human. Yeah.
But the reason why we bring all this up is so that you can make a decision for yourself. So you can hopefully know yourself better, make better decisions for yourself. I don't know. I don't want to demonize any particular thing. I feel like if you immediately have diarrhea after you have it, that's your body's way of saying, this is not good. But if you don't have that, but then you have to think about, well, am I using this as a crutch so that I never get off sugar? Because by the way, you'll never change your palate and your taste buds if you don't have an extended break from it.
And look, you'll get agita at first, and oh my God, you'll feel like you're missing out on the whole thing. But when you start tasting how other things taste and things are supposed to taste,
yep,
you'll just forget it.
It's so much better.
Literally forget about, sugar.
I can't tell you the number of people when we were doing the clubhouses because there's a lot of people in the clubhouses from the mainstream keto community, or I guess you want to call it dirty keto, because that's kind of what it is.
Yeah.
Is as long as it fits the macros, they'll eat whatever. And that's even though in theory it's the same as NSNG or low carb or paleo or whatever.
Right.
It's more of a, I can eat whatever I want as long as I don't exceed 20 net carbs kind of thing. And then people get into themselves in all sorts of math justification. You know what I mean? But I can't tell you the number of people who we would do a check-in and I'd be like, hey, can you just try? What if you did a week? Just do a week without having your keto chocolate treat every night. What if you tried it? And then they would always come back saying, oh my God, my palate changed. Everything tastes better.
Right.
Always.
Jen Mendyka, you see her on Twitter, and all of a sudden she stopped losing weight. She wasn't gaining weight. Maybe she put on a couple of pounds, but
yeah, she
got frustrated and she put it out there on Twitter. Hey, I stopped losing weight and all this kind of stuff. And I'd done consults with her before. And, someone was like, you should go try this guy. And it's like, fuck all that. So I called Jen and said, hey, free consult. Let's talk. What's going on? You still have a lot of weight to lose. What's happening? I'm not going to get into what we talked about, but a couple of things started slipping here and there, and a couple of things had changed. First week, I don't want to exaggerate, she lost 6 or 7 pounds.
Wow.
Well, I said, write to me on Friday. Let me know a week from today. 6,
Amazing.
7 pounds, and then the next week, 4 pounds. She's 10 pounds. 11 pounds. She's back on the train.
And that's just from cutting out the fake sugar stuff?
Well, no, it wasn't fake sugar. There was a few things in there, but it was becoming dirty keto, right? And it was becoming a few other things, right? And, I'm having a little trouble right now with Original Kim, right? Because she gets stressed out. Look, I get it, man. I deal with people every day. Has her episode
aired yet? Or is it going to air this Monday?
Original Kim? I don't know. I can't remember.
She's coming up, or she just was. So y'all listen.
You'll hear this woman. She's an amazing woman, and she's dodging every day because she works in a place where they bring in. She talked about this on the show. They bring in pastries and everything every day.
That's so tough to be around.
She walks through a minefield. And I get it because she's addicted to sugar, and you can only take so much and she'll get stressed out. And when you get stressed out, the first thing you want to do is eat your feelings, right? And boom.
If I had her work schedule too, I would want to reward myself with a treat as well. I get it.
As I tell her, she works like a Jamaican. She's got like 5 jobs. Yeah, I'm exaggerating. I think she was able to give up one of her jobs because she got a better, bigger job. And that's where the minefield is.
Yeah.
I feel for these people. I hear them every day. I hear what's going on. I hear what's in their life.
Well, and that's why I say everybody has a different situation. Everyone's got to figure it out. And, we're adults, and sometimes we have to make some tough decisions to prioritize our health. I know I've had to, and it's not always been fun. I want to be able to be like, fuck it. I can eat whenever I want, but I'm just not that body type. And there we are. And by the way, Vinny, you know what I'm going to make for dinner tonight?
I give up.
I have 1.5 pounds of 75/25 ground beef.
Nice.
Yeah. And I have, stop calling me, people. And I have a jar of arrabbiata spicy marinara. And I have my recipe for sloppy joes. I'm going to make spicy sloppy joes. Because sloppy joes, they usually put brown sugar in them. I don't do that. And they usually serve them with the smushy buns.
You don't do that.
I don't do that. Although, in fact, today when we were going on our walk, Lauren was like, can you go to the store and get some smushy buns? And I was like, no.
Anna, you ever
and he was like, I was like, I'm making the low carb rounds. He's like, Oh, okay, good. I don't need to buy you smushy buns. Also, I feel like if you're a grown man and you want smushy buns and you live with me,
If you're a grown man
in charge.
with 2 Jeeps, you don't buy smushy buns. Okay. You smushy
He's
buns.
in there changing oil, Vinny. He's figuring out leaks and changing oil.
That's my
There's
boy.
a spring. There's a situation with a spring.
Listen, it's a Jeep. It's going to always have oil dripping from somewhere. It's just what they do.
Vinny, these cars, I'm telling you, these cars. I told him, I was like, you better not. If you have a heart attack and die on me, I will kill you.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what to do with these cars.
I'll sell them for you. I
can't drive them, Vinny.
I'll just come get them and sell them. So Anna,
I love how I'm like worst case. He better not die on me.
He better not die because I don't know what to do with these cars.
That's how stressful I feel.
You ever make sloppy joes with pulled pork?
Yeah.
Pulled pork sloppy joes?
Yeah. In fact, my pulled pork recipe in the first book is very similar to that.
Yeah.
It's real good.
Oh, by the way, folks, I'm sorry if you missed the 20% off coupon for last month. That ended just a day ago.
It's not like you didn't warn people.
But you know what? By the way, so many people, I was shocked at how many people cashed in on that ticket. But folks, we have a new promo code for you, but this time is over at NSNG Foods.
Ooh, oh, that's better.
That's the ultra fat. 20% off, even if you have a subscription, or if you get a new subscription, you get the 20% off. And then if that subscription renews, it goes down to the lower subscription price, which is a little above 20%, but you'll continue to get a savings. So you can get a subscription, you can get a one-time buy. Go do it right now.
I'm doing it right now. I'm going to order 20.
You should order a lot because Terry Lazarou, one of our fans, was showing me a big box of vitamins that he got last month. He was like, I just boned up, man. He goes, I just stocked up. Right.
What's the discount code?
Oh, promo code Vinnie, VINNIE, no wimpy Y, and you'll
all
get
caps.
Off. It could be it could be low.
Oh, okay. Because I learned with my promo code that it had to be all caps. I didn't know that.
No, you can I think we have it to where it can be, any kind of way, just as long as it's Vinnie with an IE. So go check that out. NSNG Foods, the ultra fat, get the coffee, get the vanilla, get it all.
Oh, hold on.
What?
I just ordered. I thought I ordered 10 packets of each flavor, but I ordered 100 packets of each flavor. So that comes to
200 packets. That's like $1,000.
It's $524. But hold on, if I enter Vinnie,
you say what? Like $100, right?
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, and you'll be set.
Yeah.
And look, I think a lot of people are going to do that. It's like,
that's funny. Hold on.
If you buy $500 worth, you save $100. That's a big savings when you look at it. By the way, Anna was talking earlier in the show. She can't even give discounts. When we take 20% off, we're cutting. That's down to the quick.
I was going to say you're.
We probably, with shipping and everything, I think we charge for shipping. So, but handling and everything, a lot of it, we lose money sometimes. We're hoping to get more people by doing that. So it's a loss leader for us when we do it. So folks, if you want to take advantage of me and the company, go do that.
Well, here's what I did. I wound up getting 20 of each flavor and I saved $20.79.
Good.
Yeah. And I even have that's in addition to my subscription that comes once a month.
Yeah. You can do this one time. Like I said, the Terry Lazarous of the world, they're going to just order a big, thing of them because
I never like to run out. And the problem is, here's my problem. My subscription is 10 of each flavor at the beginning of the month. And between Lauren and myself and golf season starting back up, he's starting to go to his tournaments again.
Mm-hmm.
It's not enough. So I do need to increase my subscription, but for now I'm doing this.
You're boning up. That's good. I keep, those bags that you're supposed to bring back to the grocery store. So, use the bags there. They're like a sturdy, they got handles on them.
Yeah.
I have a bag of that full of assorted, both flavors. And I take 8 or 10 of them at a time, put them in the fridge. So that's how many I go through. I look, folks, I'm not just the president of Hair Club for Men. I'm also,
yeah.
That was a big ad back in the 70s. Okay, Anna, I think we've done this, right?
We've done it. We've discussed it, y'all. That we're going to put links in the show notes. You guys make your own decisions.
Anna, wait, there's a company that pays us to talk about their product, and we
Villa Capelli olive oil is about. You know what? I talked to Steven this morning.
Yeah.
And hold on, let me put I have to put my secure code, my CSCC code. What is it called? You know, the 3-digit code.
Yeah, that's called a CRV code, I think.
Did it work?
Or is that a?
Oh, it's thinking. It's thinking. Okay, Villa Capelli olive oil. I know the 3-liter tins are sold out, but and he'll have those in a few weeks. But they're still,
I got a 3-liter tin of the
gone.
more expensive. That's gone too.
Hold on, let me check.
You know, I just got the organic, and then we got 2 of the 750.
The organic might be sold out. Oh no, the organic's still in there. Oh my God, get the organic, you guys.
And it's a prettier. And by the way,
it is
organic with the Vinny promo code. You're still over, and you'll get free shipping on that, right? Yeah.
Or you can. They still have the 750 milliliter bottles in there, so you can get those too.
I got 2 of those, and I got the organic. I have 3 of them.
Great.
Oh, I forgot to drink my olive oil today. I got to go do that when I'm done.
Yeah, I need to do that too.
So
they also have the rosemary powder, the bay leaf powder. Like anytime, especially with people making a lot of bone broth this time of year.
Yeah.
Drop those in your bone broth. It'll taste really good. He has the grilling salts and regular sea salt. What is his vegetable broth? That looks cool. I didn't even see that before.
Ooh, I need to go back and check that out.
Yeah, he's got some really cool powders. So grab those. Use the discount code Vinnie, VINNIE, not with the Y. And you'll get 10% off your order each and every time. Capelli.
Anna, I must say this. Right before this podcast, I went to my Instagram. You know, when you go to Instagram, like someone that's in your thing pops up, like their thing comes up first.
Yeah.
Well, Lois came up first.
Yeah.
And
because it's someone you follow.
Right. And she follows me, so they know we know each other. I hardly ever see hers, but hers popped up first. She must have just put this video in. And she goes, look, it's snowing. Like right now. I know. Is it snowing where you are, or is it?
Yes.
Where Lois
show
is?
You. Yes, it is. In fact, I was taking sauce pictures right before we went on, and it started hailing on me. I had to run inside. This is. Let me show you today. Let's see if you can see this.
We went through another one of those warm days.
That's today.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So we have all the green from the spring, and then all the snowy.
Snow up there.
Mm-hmm.
But where Lois lives, down where we used to live, I mean, it never hardly ever snows there.
No, I know. It was kind of crazy.
Yes, nutty. All right, folks. If you are not listening to this on the YouTube, you can go over and hear, because we got a couple of songs here that Anna reminded me of during the show. One of them is going to be the Curtis Mayfield version of Diamond in the Back. So we're going to do that. And she reminded me of one other song. So we're going to do a little montage here. Before we get to that, I will tell you guys that Anna Vocino, she talked about, she has an Autobiata left, but she's got some other stuff. Just go check out eathappykitchen.com.
Yeah, I think we have like 50 twin packs of the spicy left.
Yeah, so you could get that.
And we always have marinara, pink crema, and puttanesca.
Oh, the pink crema used to be my favorite until the Autobiata came out.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, I take the pink crema and I add the cayenne pepper to it, and I get, it works. Folks, look, Anna makes good gravies, but you can add to the gravies.
Absolutely.
I'm just saying.
That's what I'm going to do with the sloppy joes.
Something else I did the other day, I had some peanuts. There were some peanuts, and they were dry roasted with salt. So I said, let me just have a handful of these. And I had a little handful of them, and I went, you know what? It's just not working. So I reached into the barbecue, and I took I had it in one hand. I put the barbecue like that.
In your hand.
In my hand.
They're really good on nuts.
Yeah,
the barbecue will be back soon. I got a text yesterday from Brian O'Halloran who was like, "Where the hell's the barbecue dust, lady?"
Look, it's like I have a Coke habit. Not a Diet Coke. I'm talking about Coke habit. Yeah, what's that? What am I looking at?
Chicken thighs with the dill.
Oh, see, so that's what Marie would do. She's into that dill, man.
The dill is so good. That's lemon, juice of a lemon, the dill, olive oil, CAPPELLI, and Dijon mustard, and you just soak the chicken thighs in it, roast it all up. I did that one in the air fryer. You can do it in the oven, the grill. It's amazing. In fact, I'm going to go eat some of it as soon as we hang up.
Go check it out. For me, you know, we all go shopping on Amazon. Before you go to Amazon, go to vinnytortorich.com. Amazon, I'm a big wig. I'm a whale over at Amazon. So I have Gina Grad's book is doing really well. What?
Don't forget to turn off the camera before you do.
I will. Okay. So Gina Grad's book, we did a little video on that. You'll see it on my page. If you go to vinnytortorich.com and then click through to the Amazon thing, you'll also see everybody's been asking. I see where Robin and everybody's now getting the socks that, you know, Darn Toughs that I talk about. We have the Darn Toughs up there. We got all the stuff that I use, all the stuff that's here in the house or that Serena uses. It's on that page. Yes, if you see a cigarette lighter, I do buy Zippo lighters because if you're out in the wild, it's the one lighter you can count on in wind and everything else if you get stuck out overnight camping or whatever. So yes, I don't smoke cigarettes. Someone asked me, I was like, why are you pushing Zippo? Because they work, you know, and I can use the other fuel for my lanterns and everything else, even though you're not supposed to, but you know, you can do that.